Okay, so my name is Ria Ishida of the Global Admissions Office, as well as the program coordinator for the Peace and Conflict Studies course. And today we'll have Professor Yoshizaki, who is one of the professors of this Peace and Conflict Studies course, and also one student who have just started her studies last October will also be sharing her experience at this Peace and Conflict Studies course. Okay. So let us now start. Okay, so as I mentioned before, this Peace and Conflict Studies course is within the Graduate School of Global Studies at this Tokyo University of Foreign Studies. It is a master's program. The study period is 2 years, and we welcome new students in October of each year. We do not have any April admission. The students will enter in October of each year. The language of instruction is English, meaning that all the courses that are provided within this Peace and Conflict Studies course are offered in English, and the students are to write their master's thesis in English as well. The title of the degree granted upon completion is Master of Arts in International Studies. We are relatively small in size, accepting 10 to 12 students per year. So who are the type of the students who may study for this program? Well, first of all, as our title says, Peace and Conflict Studies course. So if you wish to pursue your career in the field of peace and conflict, you may consider studying at this program. If you already have some background in the field of peace and conflict, you may find it also interesting. But we do have many students who come from different backgrounds. But please note that you have to have a very firm interest in the field of peace and conflict studies. So I hope this session will give you a more idea of what you can study at this program. And probably Professor Yoshizaki will also give you some very useful information about knowing this field of peace and conflict studies. So, as I mentioned before, we are relatively small in size, accepting 10 to 12 students per year. And we have 3 full-time professors who are involved in running this program. Professor Matsunaga, Professor Shinoda, and Professor Yoshizaki, who is here today. One of the features of this Peace and Conflict Studies course is that the student can choose their supervisor. The university do not designate a certain professor to a student. The students, once they enter this Peace and Conflict Studies course, they will meet with each one of these 3 professors, discuss about your research plan, and the student can choose whom they would like to study under. So getting know these 3 professors is very important for studying at this program. Although we are small in size, our students come from diverse backgrounds. These are the list of the countries that our current and past students have come from. As for right now, we have students from countries such as Turkey, Ghana, Nigeria, South Sudan, United States, Mexico, Zimbabwe, India, Sudan, Russia, Uganda, Egypt, Mongolia, Colombia, Ukraine, Yemen, and Djibouti are the name of the countries that our current students are from. As you can see from this list, the students come from diverse backgrounds. And another feature of this program is that studying with these students from diverse background is one of the, probably from my point of view, the most beneficial experience that one can have while you are still in Japan. So about the curriculum, as I mentioned before, this is a 2 years master's program, and the students will enter in October of each year. Once they enter in fall, the fall semester will be the first semester. During that semester, the students will take the 3 mandatory courses, which are the core seminar, PCS research methodology, and global studies. These 3 courses are taught by the 3 full-time professors that I mentioned before. So during the first semester of this program, you will get to know all 3 professors very well. And the students may change their supervisor after experiencing the classes held by the professor, and that is still okay. Apart from these 3 mandatory courses, the students will choose from the elective courses, which covers many areas, which I have listed here. Okay, like gender and peace, refugees and forced migration studies, to name a few. And when the students enter their second year, they will have another 2 more mandatory courses, which we call the Thesis Seminar 1 and Thesis Seminar 2. Through these 2 courses, the students will be supervised regarding their research, master's thesis research. Apart from being supervised by their main supervisor, this thesis seminar 1 and 2 are offered by the 3 professors that I mentioned. So it is more of a team teaching here at this Peace and Conflict Studies course. And at the end of the second year, the students will submit their thesis. And they will have a final examination, which we usually call it as a defense, which is also held in English. And once they passed everything, then they will graduate from this program with the master's degree in international studies. Probably you're thinking about what kind of topic that you can study here. Well, here are some of the examples of the titles of the master's thesis. What I can say from my side is that many of the students have chosen a topic that is related to their own country. As many of the students do come from conflict-affected countries, they have been tackling with the topic that they have very much related to the country that they are from. However, some students have taken up a specific topic that is related to Japan, such as the US and Japan status of force agreement in the island of Okinawa, or the military law in Japan. And that is also possible. So if you're interested in studying at this program, I do recommend you to go over the topics that we are offering, such as the list. You can see the list of the elective courses that we offer here, and also the topics studied by our past students, which is also available on our PCS website. And please get to know the research topic of the 3 full-time professors that we have, so that you can really relate to those 3 professors regarding the topic that you are really interested in. So, how about the career after graduating from this program? Well, up until probably 5, 6 years ago, most of the students have returned back to their own countries to take up positions in the governmental offices of their own country or international organizations. But to be honest, more recently, the students wishes to stay in Japan. However, finding a job in this field of international cooperation is extremely difficult. So the students who have decided to stay in Japan have chosen up the fields such as the news agency or IT-related companies, which is, to be honest, not really related to the studies that they have been doing. And some have decided to pursue into the doctoral studies, either here at this university or universities in and out of Japan. What I can say is that this Peace and Conflict Studies course, although small in size, we are conducting what we call the alumni workshop every year to connect our current students and our alumni, which allows current students to share their research topic with the alumni who is living or returning back to their own countries and pursuing their career. So this relationship, or should I say the network that we have with the alumni and the current student is also another main feature that we are very happy to introduce to you. Now, going into a more realistic side of this, one of the main issues that you need to consider is the academic fees and the living expense. We are national university, meaning that the academic fee is relatively low compared with the private universities in Japan. As for the living expense, I have stated here that the average living expense is around 100,000 yen per month. Tokyo, I have to say, is not a cheap place to live. However, we are located in the suburb of Tokyo, about 30-40 minutes of a train ride from downtown Tokyo. And here you can live in a very quiet and safe environment. And the rent is relatively low compared with downtown Tokyo. But it's still 30-40 minutes from a train ride so that you can also experience the excitement of living in the capital of Japan. So, talking about the expenses, probably many of you here today are very much interested in the scholarship availability. This Peace and Conflict Studies course has a program by the name of PCS Course to Foster Professionals for Post-Conflict Peace Building. And this has been designated as the special graduate program under the Japanese government scholarship, meaning that there is a preferential allocation of Japanese government scholarship who wish to pursue their studies under this Peace and Conflict Studies course, who wish to become the professionals for post-conflict peace building. The number of grantees of this scholarship is 3. I have to say it's only 3 students. Okay, they will enter in October, as with the student, as the student of this Peace and Conflict Studies course. How we screen the students? We will recommend to the Ministry of Education 3 applicants with the outstanding result who have applied during the designated period who also met the eligibility of the Japanese government scholarship. I have asked everyone here today to download the admission information before joining us, and I hope all of you did the same. And you have realized that from page 13 on are the details of this scholarship. So if you wish to know about details of this scholarship, first, please go over the details within the admission information. And how to apply for this scholarship. You can apply when you apply for this Peace and Conflict Studies course, okay? But as I mentioned before, you also need to meet the additional eligibility for the Japanese government scholarship. I have listed some of the eligibility requirements, but this is not all, okay? So please check the details on the admission information. You need to be the holder of an excellent academic record. Okay, you need to have your average grade point calculated and checked by us before sending us your application. Okay, there is an age limit. You must be born on or after April 2nd, 1989. There is an English proficiency requirement. Okay, for those who are non-native speakers of English, you must hold an English proficiency of CEFAR B2 level or above. Or if you have graduated from an undergraduate program in English medium, you are requested to submit a certificate issued by your institution stating that the program you have graduated from was and is held all in English. Okay. Again, all these details are listed in the admission information. So if you are interested in applying for this program, please do check our admission information carefully. As for the schedule, okay, this is very important. In Japan, the deadline is strictly observed. We will not accept any application which arrives after the deadline. Okay, so if you are planning to apply for this Peace and Conflict Studies course under the SP MEX scholarship, please note that the deadline is February 5th, 2024. And we accept applications only by the paper form. We do not accept applications through online or through emails. Please note that all the documents must arrive at our admissions office by the specified deadline. Okay? If you're planning to apply for this PC and Conflict Studies course as a privately funded student, then the deadline is in May. But for those who wish to apply for PCS course under the SP MEX scholarship, again, please note that the deadline is early. Although I have been emphasizing about this Japanese government scholarship, I mentioned before that we only have 3 slots available. For those who were not eligible for the Japanese government scholarship, or if you're planning to apply as a privately funded student, there is another financial support only for this Peace and Conflict Studies course. Top 5 students entering this Peace and Conflict Studies course will be granted with the admission fee exemption and tuition exemption. Okay. As for the tuition exemption, you will have your grades checked each year for the continued exemption. So, apart from the Japanese government scholarship opportunity, there is also another financial support, which is the admission fee exemption and tuition exemption. So please keep this in mind when you apply for this program. So, how you can prepare for this program? Okay, as I mentioned before, the Japanese government scholarship is only available for 3 students. The top 5 students will be able to get the academic fee exemption, which means that you need to prepare very well for the application. So please understand the field of Peace and Conflict Studies course. Okay, it is highly recommended that you have taken some courses on political science, international relations, development during your undergraduate years. Okay. If you do not have the English proficiency test score yet, please do take the test as soon as possible. Okay. I understand that time is necessary for us to receive the official test score. Okay. Find the topic of interest. Be specific. Don't just say that I am interested in peace and conflict studies. You have to have a certain topic that you are really interested and you are willing to devote your 2 years to study about that topic. Okay. Please check the latest information on what is happening in this field of peace and conflict studies course also at this university. And again, please go over and read the admission information thoroughly and carefully. All the necessary information are stated there. And just to remind you one thing, as I mentioned before, you need to be eligible for the Japanese government scholarship if you wish to apply for the PCS course under the SPMEX scholarship. On page 16 of the admission information, it is stated as an important issue that you need to contact us before starting your application procedure to have your academic grade point checked. I have to say that we are already receiving some requests to have this average grade point check, and we do need some time to do the calculation. So please make sure to contact us with plenty of time with all the information that is stated here so that we can calculate your average grade point, check your birthday, check your English proficiency level, and then we can inform you whether you are eligible to apply for the PCS course under the SPMEX scholarship. Okay, so please go over the admission information carefully. Lastly, I would like to mention a little bit about the doctoral program. Here at this university, we do have the doctoral program. Okay, and there are some students who are pursuing into the doctoral level within this field of peace and conflict studies course. Okay. So, but it is very important that you find a professor who really matches with your research topic, specifically for the doctoral program. So if you're interested in pursuing into the doctoral program, please go over the details of the professors of this university carefully before you consider applying for the doctoral program. Okay, so thank you very much for listening and joining us today. If you come up with any questions regarding the admission procedure, please contact us at the Global Admissions Office. For the contents of the Peace and Conflict Studies course program, please contact PCS office at pcs at tufs.ac.jp. And please let me remind you one thing. In Japan, we will be observing a long New Year's holiday, and this university will also be closed between December 28th and January 3rd. And we will not be able to answer any of your inquiries during this period. So if you have any questions, please contact us early, as soon as possible, so that we can reply to your inquiries. Okay, so thank you very much. So that's from my side. If you have any questions, please type it into the chat box. We will go over your questions during the Q&A session afterwards. So let me now hand over the microphone to Professor Yoshizaki. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ishida-san. And everyone, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you again for your interest to the Peace and Conflict Studies of Tokyo University Foreign Studies. And I'm Yoshizaki. I'm pretty new to the PCS course as a full professor, but I have been with this program since 2007. So I know a lot about the background of our day program. And please let me explain one thing. The PCS will celebrate 20th anniversary. Our project was kicked off at 23. That means that we have kind of a global one terror as agenda for the global challenges and Afghanistan, Iraq. Then Japan became more aware about what's happening in a global scale, especially the counterterrorism or peace building or stabilization operations. Then Japanese government and also education's department, they became more aware of having a more global studies, including the PCS studies. So in that sense, we try to be very global and receiving scholars and also applicants and students from across the globe. And first, we focus on Afghanistan, Iraq, but as Ishida-san mentioned, we have the global students across the globe, and also our focus shifted away from supporting to the practitioner on the ground to the general the student across the globe. And we have a master courses plus the PhD students. And as the Ishida-san pointed out, that we have a wide array of research topics, including, of course, peace building, peacemaking, and prevention of conflict, or peace and conflict study in general, and also national security strategy or alliances, which is my own research topic. And also we have the studies on the international law, humanitarian law, or intensive course for negotiation, peace building, and also the legal aspect of the conflict management. So in that sense, feel free to ask us what are the possible agenda for master thesis or the PhD thesis, which can be studied in the PCS. And also, we have 3 permanent professors who are into a specific PCS agenda, like peace building and peacemaking, and which are the major special interest of the Shinoda Sensei. Plus, the Matsunaga Sensei is an expert on the Middle East and also a methodology of the PCS and how to write the paper. And myself is I have been with the Ministry of Defense for many years, so I was a practitioner of the Japanese government. So I can teach you something about what's debated in the Japanese government. Plus, we have the very global network, not only in the Asian Pacific region alone, but also we have a global reach, including US for the Latin American countries and the Asian countries and Oceania and Africa and Europe and beyond. So in that sense, PCS is your campus. We have a global campus. Students are coming from from across the globe. And we have an alumni network who are the practitioner on the ground who are working on the UN or international the NGOs or the practitioner in Japan or in other country across the globe. In that sense, PCS was kicked off as a support to the practitioners on the ground, but we have an academic outreach and a network of the like-minded partners and friends. And we have a tradition of having a web seminar and webinars and having a kind of debate across the globe with the web technology. So in that sense, feel free to ask us anything about the admissions or the possibility of getting the scholarship, plus your topic of the possible the thesis, the theme for master degrees or beyond the PhD degrees. And we have scholarship available for you. And also you can find more opportunity to find an opportunity beyond TUFS. In that sense, it is very good to the opportunity to start our conversation. And if you are having some questions about the PCS, please let us know. And okay, I'll stop here and I'll be happy to respond to any kind of question you may have.
Okay, Professor Yoshizaki, thank you very much for the details of the background of this Peace and Conflict Studies course, and thank you for mentioning about our 20th anniversary for 2024. I hope many of you here today will be able to join us to celebrate our 20th anniversary next year. Okay, so now let me introduce Miriam. She has just started her studies last October. And she will be sharing her experience, what she did to prepare to study at this Peace and Conflict Studies course, and what is her experience up until now. So, Miriam, may I ask you to share your experience?
Yes, absolutely. So I have been here for around 2 months. I arrived Japan at the end of September. So the most important thing is the process of admission, like of applying to this program, because I think it's a pretty much competitive. You need to be accurate about your research, since I consider it the most important thing, like the research paper that you are gonna write during the application process. And also like the scholarship of mixed is also competitive, like you need to go through much planning the how you want to go through your application, because you represent yourself in the application after all. The experience is good. I'm discovering new things. As I expected, the university is so good and the professors are so amazing. I'm interested in the topic they are talking about in the university. So I don't think that you will find any problem regarding the program overall. but the admission process, the application process is the most important thing after all, because it took me plenty of time. I had to prepare for the papers, the research plan, the recommendation letter, and for the IELTS exam. I remember that I started knowing about PCs during my third year of bachelor degree. So it was, yeah, it was like a long time before applying. Um, so yeah, please get prepared well. And if you have any question, I will be happy to answer it.
Okay, thank you very much, Miriam. I do remember you started contact us quite early at the stage. What would you recommend for the participants today to do now if they are considering of applying to this program? What took you the most time to prepare?
Oh yeah. So the most thing that took me time is my research plan, because I had to search like I changed it so many times, my research topic, and I've logged into a lot of past research. And the thing that I don't like about this research, because I needed to discuss kind of criticism that I have regarding specific research, and also the objectives that I have, yeah, to put in my research. So it took me time, to be honest. Like, even, yeah, I cannot estimate the time, because it was like a long period. The second thing that I remember was hard for me is the IELTS exam, because I was a Japanese language student. So taking the IELTS exam in English and reaching the score of the exam, that the required score, was not an easy thing. Like, also it needs me to prepare good. And the recommendation letter from my university, like having like getting my university knowledgeable about applying for PCs studies in Japan. And also I need a recommendation letter from the faculty head of my department at my home university, and all of that, it also took me time. Yeah, you need to be accurate through papers. I remember that I was sending you a lot of questions, Global Admission Office, all the time. So feel free to ask them or send them any question. They are so helpful. I remember every step I was going through, I had to contact them to be more, yeah, to be like the information I needed to be more clarified. Yeah, so please prepare for the paper in a good way, and put your effort in a research plan, get the recommendation letter needed, and have a good score at IELTS. Yeah, even if you feel like you don't have a time until the deadline of the application process, it's absolutely fine. You still have time. Just like be focused during this period. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Yoshizaki Sensei, would you like to add something?
Yes. Adding to the Miriam's response, one of the things is that choosing the instructor for your master thesis. Well, you can be very flexible, and we can wait. And we have a very good collection of the Peace and Conflict Studies library, and you can have a look. We have the 3,000 books for you, prepared for you. So after reviewing the collection, you may change the topic depending on the books and the articles. They have a look. Then you can refresh your idea, then find new challenges. So we can be prepared, and we should wait your final decisions. So we have time. And also, I see the question in the chat box that whether or not the nominating the professor for the MA thesis is definitely needed before application for the government, the fundings. No, so we can wait. We can wait your decision after admission and have a talk or taking a couple of classes, and then you will feel okay. This professor will be fine, and I can they write the thesis with under him or her. Well, that is your decision. So we can be very flexible, and you will be come to the Tufts and Fuji campus, then decide your own day supervisor. I'll stop there.
Thank you very much for the details. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, for the procedure wise, I have to say that once you're here during the first 10 days or so, you need to first fix your supervisor. But then again, as Professor Yoshizaki mentioned, you may change your supervisor nor your research topic after attending the classes, going through the materials that we have. I don't recommend you to change everything when you become the second year. That's a little bit too late. But during the first year, at least you will have an opportunity to discuss your topic, go over the materials, and it is up to the students to choose the topic, choose the supervisor which they feel most comfortable. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Today we also have one staff from Tufts. Her name is Ruby. Although she has not graduated from PCS, she has graduated from this university and currently now working as a staff. From Ruby's point of view, what can today's participants do to prepare to come to Japan? What will be the most important point that they can do while they are in their country to prepare to come to Japan?
Hi everyone, it's nice to see you all. So I was the undergraduate student, like Ishida-san said, and before I came to Japan, I just looked up lots of videos about life in Japan, life at Tufts, and I just tried to imagine what my life would be like. I also tried to study as much Japanese as I could, even though the PCS course is all in English, and you can definitely get by in your life in Japan with only English. I definitely think it helps to be able to speak Japanese a little bit, and it makes your life more easy, and maybe you can build better connections if you can speak Japanese. So there are lots of online free Japanese language lessons that you can try and do. So that's what I would prepare for.
Yeah, thank you very much. So as for preparation for the language wise, you mentioned about the online language classes and so, but to be more specific, or maybe you and Miriam also can answer this. What did you think that you wanted to bring to Japan? Is there anything like may I ask Miriam first? I mean, you're now here for two and maybe close to 3 months now. Is there anything that you missed or you thought that you should have brought it here to Japan?
A lot of stuff. Yeah, for the food, because I'm allergic to specific kind of food, so I feel like food is kind of important in my life now, what type of food I'm eating. And also some papers, academic papers, like when you are in your country, you are more accessible to get what kind of paper you want in your country. But when you are in Japan, it will be hard for you to go request a paper in your home, like when you are in Japan and your home country like separated. So yes, and some books in Arabic. Because yeah, like I'm Arabic language speaker, so some books in Arabic here is not available. So yes, I wish if I bring the important book that would help me later. The language, as she mentioned, it's so important because everything here, like the products that you purchase, the daily life, you have to involve Japanese language in your life. So it's so important as well. Yes, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much.
So for me, I agree with the food as well. I think there are some things that are very hard to find. So I'm a vegetarian, so I packed lots of vegetarian food, or maybe some like ingredients, some seasonings that you like to use in your own country, because you might not be able to find them, and it makes it feel a little bit more like home at the start. And also the weather might be very different from your country. So like I'm from Australia, so we don't really, it doesn't get too cold. So I needed to buy lots of coats and jackets when I moved here. And I also had one more thing, but I forgot.
Okay, well, thank you very much. If you remember something else, you can just pop in. Okay, of Peace and Conflict Studies course.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for attending this information session. From myself, I would like to point out three elements of PCS course. Please ask Ishida-san as regards administrative issues. She is an expert on these issues. But as a faculty member, I really would like to highlight the nature of a PCS course. One, students. Second, TUFS as a university. And third, there are three faculty members of in charge of a PCS course. First of all, students, they have a quite exciting dynamism, as you can see in the list of students currently registered or students in the past. You should be able to have very dynamic, exciting conversations with your colleagues in the classroom. And we don't know what kind of student you may have in the future, but that's a mysterious dynamism. You will really see very much exciting colleagues in the near future once you are accepted by TFS. And of course, you should have very much rich network of alumni association of PCS. They are very much active in many countries throughout the world. This is a great asset of a PCS course. I myself are very much enjoying the process of communicating with students at the PCS because I'm able to learn quite a lot. And then I am one of the persons who are really enjoying this process. That's why I can guarantee that this is very much dynamic and exciting, fruitful. Secondly, TUFS is known as a very much specific advanced university in Japan, specializing in area studies. You can see many area studies experts at this university, as well as, well, graduate school level students and undergraduate school students from abroad Japan, specializing in many specific areas. If you're interested in developing your research based on very, very advanced, solid, reliable knowledge or the manner of exploration about area studies, and then Tufts TFS can offer a great opportunity for you to do so because there are plenty of opportunities, resources, and highly skillful persons. Thirdly, there are only 3 faculty members at the PCS. This creates kind of very much informal atmosphere of PCS as well as very solid area of expertise. Quite frankly, we are not able to cover so many issues with a number of 3 faculty members, and we share the social science-oriented solid basis. I myself have a PhD at the London School of Economics and the Political Science. And Professor Matsunaga has the final degree in the US in comparative politics. So combining these experiences of our own as well as information backgrounds, we should be able to provide the somewhat reliable opportunity for you to pursue a higher degree in the environment in which you can solidify, consolidate your advanced knowledge in the areas you are interested in. In the course, in the manner we can usually do in social sciences in the internet, in accordance with established international standard. And so if you are interested in social science areas, especially international relations, conflict resolution, political science, comparative politics, and so on, security studies, especially, and then PCS should be able to offer you with a great opportunity to develop your interest in a professional manner. I would like to stop here. Thank you very much for your interest.
Thank you very much, Professor Shinoda. So let me now introduce two of the students who are here today. Okay, so let us now start with Sarah. May I ask you to take over?
Thank you very much, Shiba-san. So my name is Sarah and I'm from Ghana, currently a PCS second year student. Thank you for the opportunity given to me. First of all, I would like to say that being in PCS has been a very great experience and I am happy about it. The course has offered me a blend of theoretical frameworks and also practical applications, which focus on international perspective, and it has helped me explore regional conflicts and global operations and cooperations. So it has really, really given me a broad idea about what is going on in the international world. I'm also taking research methodology class has also enhanced my understanding of research process and methods which is needed for conducting academic research, especially in my final year. So I am extremely excited about that. I have enjoyed all the classes so far and also been able to take up courses of my area of interest in relation to refugee studies and migration studies, also developmental studies. So I am really grateful for this opportunity. In relation to the faculty members, they have been really responsive and approachable. My supervisor, which is Shinoda Sensei, who is here, it's really easy to communicate with him and he offers guidance and also make clarification on academic matters when I seek for help. So yes, he has really been of good support to students. In class, I happen to be in class with people from different countries like America, Russia. So I've had an advantage of having a diverse perspective on issues, and I've also been able to expand my social networks. So far, the experience has been great, and I have no regrets to say. Coming to study in Japan and also specifically Tokyo University of Foreign Studies and studying peace and conflicts has really shaped my perspectives on global issues and theory and has equipped me with skills and insights that is needed for meaningful conversations on global issues. In class, I contribute because of our, relatively little number. And also with the presentations, I've been able to boost my confidence and enhance my public speaking skills as well. The scholarship which I'm on, MEST, has also helped me financially and has relieved financial burdens. So I'm able to focus on my studies. As every journey has challenges, of course, being in PCS and in Japan, I have faced just some little challenges in terms of academic systems. And it was a bit different from my home country, especially Japanese are very strict on their deadlines. So I struggled a little initially. However, it has given me a valuable learning experience and has contributed to my personal resilience and adaptability. So I am very happy to be in PCS and I encourage you to join PCS in the near future so that you can have a good experience, I believe. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Sarah. Then we have another student. Chieji, would you like now to take over? I think you're still muted. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to express my experience. Academically and socially, my experience at TUFS here in Japan has been very enriching. At the beginning of 2022, I was wondering where should I go for my graduate studies, but I have interest in Japan because of the experience of the country during the Second World War, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And when I was making my research on the school to attend here in Japan, I came across Tokyo University of Foreign Studies. The academic curriculum here at TUFS for PCS is well structured. The key is multidisciplinarity. It cuts across different fields: history, international relations, political science, economics, anthropology, and the likes. So that has helped me to hone my understanding of international security issues. Another major interesting aspect of studying peace and conflict here in Tufts is the background of the different faculty members. The coordinator has already given you a hint about the 3 professors working in the department and their various backgrounds. So I think that their background suits almost all the major conflict areas and regions around the world. That has also helped to sharpen my research skills. Numerous course modules that I have taken, like peace and conflict research methodology, has also helped to broaden my understanding on how to carry out a research in social science and particularly international relations. In the classes, we were normally given a lot of assignments to meet up with some deadlines. There are some presentations to make. And of course, these are original research. Through my participation in these activities, I've been able to perfect my research skills and been able to understand the theoretical and practical aspects of peace and how to contribute to conflict resolution process in the global world. Of course, we from Africa, we come from a continent that is ravaged by war for centuries, and currently, I feel that the experience that I've obtained from PCS here will enable me to contribute to peace process when I go back to my country in the future. One advice I will give to you applicants, especially from African continent or any other region, is about the application process. Just like the coordinator said, and during my time when I was applying, I kind of had a little challenge about understanding the application process very well, since it has to do with paper application. It is not an entirely process whereby you scan your document and you upload online and submit. You have to fill in the necessary application and then print out the paper form, and then you send it to them. So one challenge I had when I was in Nigeria during my application time was sending the document to Japan, which is very, very far from Africa. So I will encourage you to use DHL. I understand that it might be somehow costly, but I implore you to see it as part of the sacrifice that you will make in order to achieve your dream. Socially, apart from academics, Tufts and Tokyo in Japan particularly is, if I will use the word, very sweet. There are a lot of social activities that are being organized within the school and within the town of Tokyo. For instance, inside here in the school campus, there is a 1-week festival called Gaigosai, whereby you meet students from different countries of the world. They showcase their country's culture and their country's cuisine. So it offers a very good platform for you to build network from students from different parts of the world. And apart from that, you can also enjoy your study here in Japan, because Japan and Tokyo is a very tourist destination. There are different places of interest that you can visit and enjoy yourself and look around, such as the famous Tokyo Skytree, which is one of the tallest structures in the world. You also have the Yokohama Cosmo Ball. There are also beautiful beaches around, like Kamakura Beach and the Odaiba Beach. And of course, you can also visit the Tokyo Temple. There are so many other amazing places of interest here in Japan. Even outside Tokyo during the school holidays, you can as well take a visit to some other parts of Japan, like Okinawa, and then use that opportunity to see the US Air Base and also visit places like Kyoto, Nara, and then of course visit the War Museum at Hiroshima so that you can have experience about what happened during the Second World War, about the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's been a wonderful experience that I will continue to relish throughout my lifetime. The scholarship opportunity given to me through the Japanese government has been very rewarding, and that's helped to finance my studies. So I encourage you to apply so that you will equally have a wonderful study experience like me. Thank you.
Thank you, Chieji. Well, I'm glad to know that you had some time to actually see around Tokyo. I mean, this peace and conflict studies course is known as a very demanding course, I have to say, especially during the first year. So I was kind of worried that many of our students did not have any opportunity to actually discover Japan. But I'm glad to hear that you were able to manage your time to enjoy some part of the Japanese culture at the same time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well,